Hello students, in this video we will discuss about how a thunderstorm become a cyclone. In previous classes you have already understand the phenomena of evaporation and condensation. It means that you might have known that water requires heat when it changes from liquid to vapor state. When liquid converted into the vapor state, that process is known to be as evaporation. On the other hand, when water give back heat when vapor condensed into liquid. So it means that when vapor is turned into liquid, that process is called the condensation. So in both these methods, in one method, when liquid turn into vapor, then in that process, water require heat from the environment, and when water vapor converted into liquid, then water liberates some kind of heat. So that is the basic thing by which we can understand how a thunderstorm is created, and after that thunderstorm how a thunderstorm is converted into a cyclone. That's why in this slide that question has given, does the water give back heat when vapor condenses into liquid? Can you recall any experience to support this? For this answer, we will move to the next slide. How a thunderstorm become a cyclone. Before cloud formation, water takes up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor. So that is the answer of the question. That when the cloud formation process is taking place, in that process, water takes up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor state. That means that is a process in which evaporation takes place, and in that process what happens? The water takes some kind of heat from the atmosphere. When water vapor changes back to liquid form as raindrops, this heat is released to the atmosphere. So that is the answer of the second question, that water can liberate the heat or not. So answer, here is the answer. When water vapor changes back to liquid, it is when it is formed as a raindrop, then in that process some heat is released to the atmosphere. So in another word, we can say that in that process which we call the cloud formation, at one time water takes the heat, on the another time water liberate the heat. So in that way the balance of heat is there. At one point of time water absorb the heat from the environment, on the other hand the water liberate the heat. This heat is released to the atmosphere. The heat released to the atmosphere warms the air around. So what will happen when the cloud formation is going on? Then this heat released to the atmosphere, and when it is released to the atmosphere, it warms the air around that. The air, that means that particular air, the air tends to rise. As we already know that hot air rises up. As you can see that the smoke rises up, in similar manner the air tends to rise. So it means that when air get warm, it rising up. So that's why it is mentioned here. The air tends to rise and causes a drop in pressure. What we need to understand from this line, as in the previous video also I mentioned to you that temperature and pressure are interrelated to each other. It means in a particular region when the temperature is rising, then the pressure will drop, or in another word we can say that the pressure and temperature both are inversely proportional to each other, or we can say that they are opposite to each other. That means if temperature is increasing, then pressure is decreasing. If temperature is decreasing, then pressure is increasing. So that's why it is mentioned here is when heat is liberated to the environment or atmosphere, so so the particular air of that area is become hot, and due to that the air tends to rise and causes a drop in pressure. More air rushes to the center of the storm. That means that is how the thunderstorm, that is the some formation of the thunderstorm is there, how the storm is created. More air rushes to the center of the storm. This cycle is repeated. That means that when this process is continuous, what is the process? When water takes heat from the environment, then it change into the vapor, and when water vapor change into the liquid, then it release the heat, and when that heat is released, then air get warmed and it tends to rise up. And when due to that a low pressure system is created, which is mentioned here is, there you can see the air tends to rise, cause a drop in pressure, more air rushes to the center of the storm. So these are the lines which has given it. So more low pressure, as it is mentioned here, causes a drop in pressure. Causes a drop in pressure means it decreased more pressure and it created a low pressure system. What it is created? It is created a low pressure system. What we call that? It is called the low pressure system is created. So now what happened? When this low pressure system is created, more air rushes to the center of the storm. This cycle is repeated. That means this cycle is multiple times repeated into the environment. Then what happened? The chain of events end up with the formation of a very low pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. As I mentioned to you, when due to the rising of the air, a cause of pressure drop is there. So this event is repeated, and after this multiple repetition of this process, the chain of events ends with the formation of a very low pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. That is the brief explanation of this process. So it is this weather condition that we call a cyclone. So that means it is a weather condition that we call a cyclone. So that is the part where we can define as a cyclone. So how the cyclone is created? When into the environment, heat release into the process of when the water vapor is converted into the raindrop, then it provides the heat, and due to that a low pressure system is created and high speed wind is revolving around it. Why this high speed wind is created? Because the temperature is continuously rising, and due to that the hot air is always rising up. So that's why it is creating a low pressure system, and this is the weather condition that we call a cyclone. Now cyclone is also affected by some factors. What are the factors? That factors is also given to us. What are the factors which is affecting the cyclone? The number one factor is like wind speed. That is called the first factor. It is called the wind speed. When the temperature is continuously rising, due to that the wind speed of the hot air is also continuously rising. So that is also play a very important role to create the cyclone. Another factor which is affecting the cyclone, that is called wind direction. That means the wind direction is also very, very important. So that is why it is also the second factor which is affecting the cyclone. The third factor which is play a very important role, that is called temperature, and fourth one is called the humidity. Temperatures play a very important role. As in this paragraph you have seen that how a low pressure system is created. It is only and only created when there is a rising of the temperature. And how in environment the temperature is rising? Because when vapor changes back to the liquid form a raindrop, this release the heat into the atmosphere. That is a condition in which the heat is continuously provided into the environment. And fourth condition is humidity. So that means India is a country which is also considered to be the hot and humid country. That's why mostly the cyclone is occur into our country. So all these factors, wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity, all together they are contributing to the development of a cyclone. So how the cyclone is created? That is a very first condition. That means there is a continuous liberation of the heat. And how the heat is released or liberate into the environment? That is liberate or release into the environment due to the process which we call when the water vapor turn into the form of a raindrop. And due to that formation, a low pressure system is created, and we can say that it is creating a cyclone. And what are the factors which is affecting the cyclone? The factors are wind speed, wind direction, temperature, humidity contribute to the development of a cyclone. Now we will see what is the structure of a cyclone. First of all, I'll show to you what is the structure of a cyclone. Now in this picture you can see that this is the formation of a cyclone. In that you can see here these arrow which is I am indicating with the red arrows, that is called the direction of hot air. That means this is the direction of hot air which is moving into the upward direction into a circular form. It is not moving like a straightly. That hot air is not moving straightly, but it is moving as circular form, or you can say that it is forming a spiral shape. This is the arrows which I mentioned to you in this picture. That is called the spiral movement. What we call that? It is called spiral movement of the hot air. That means in that way the hot air is rising up, and at the same time, to take the place of it, the cool air is rushing down. That means that is the direction of cool air which is rushing down towards it. So in that way the hot air is moving up continuously, and it is creating a low pressure area, and to take the place, the cold air is moving in downward direction. And due to that low pressure system, continuous chain effect, that is converted into a cyclone. So that is the mostly the picture, or you can say this is the picture of cyclone. Now we will understand what is the structure of a cyclone. The center of a cyclone is a calm area. It is called the eye of the storm. This area, that means it is mentioned here is this area is called the eye. What we call that? It is called the eye of cyclone. Calm area means there is no presence of any cloud or any more air. A large cyclone is violently rotating mass of air in the atmosphere 10 to 15 kilometer high. That means here it is mentioned, there you can see the height of the cyclone may be about 10 to 15 kilometers, as it is mentioned here is. The diameter of the eye varies from 10 to 30 kilometer. That is the diameter of an eye. That means that diameter of an eye can be about 10 to 30 kilometer. There you can see it is mentioned here the eye of a cyclone, and it is a calm and cool area, and it is about 10 to 30 kilometer of the diameter. It is a region free of clouds. What I mentioned to you, it is a region, that means the eye is a region which is free from the clouds and has the light winds. Around this calm and clear eye, there is a cloud region about 150 kilometer in size. In this region, there are high speed winds about 150 to 250 kilometer per hour and thick cloud with heavy rain. Away from this region, the wind speed gradually decreases. The formation of a cyclone is very complex process, and it shows into the next slide. So that means that is a structure, and you can see that what is the wind speed. The wind speed is about 200 to 250 kilometer per hour in the cyclone. So, and into the eye there is a very thin cloud and wind is there, but outside it there is a thick cloud with the heavy rain. So you can say that it can move with the speed of 200 kilometer per hour to 250 kilometer per hour. So that is the brief explanation how the structure of a cyclone is there. So basically, if we categorize the cyclone, so we can find that the cyclone has one eye, another one it is also get the height of about 10 to 15 kilometer, the diameter of the eye is about 10 to 30 kilometer, and the wind speed inside the wind speed of a cyclone is about 150 to 250 kilometer per hour, and there is a cloud region of about 150 kilometer in size. So you can say that it is a very huge structure, and it is also very complex process. So that is the description of cyclone, how a thunderstorm is converted into a cyclone, what are the factors which is contributing to convert the thunderstorm into a cyclone, and what is the basic structure of a cyclone. I hope in this video you understand that the formation of a cyclone, structure of a cyclone, and what are the factors which is contributing to form a cyclone. Thank you very much.